Good evening. Welcome. Before we get started, I just want to ask you, if you don't mind, if you have a seat next to you, if you could scoot in, so that way we don't have to put out three seat next to you. We appreciate you getting cozy tonight. And we're so excited that you're here. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Dr. Hinojosa. I am the ILTexas Katy principal.
Right.
She is your principal. All right? Third, fourth, and fifth grade. Raise your hand. Mr. Sergio Camarillo is your principal. Kinder, first and second. Raise your hand. All right, Miss Jana Schaefer, she is your principal.
Hello.
Very good. So we're so glad that you are with us tonight. Go ahead and make sure the school runs effectively and efficiently. However, we want you to have the closest relationship with your child's teacher. So before you ever come to us with a problem, who do you go to first? Very good, the child's teacher. All right. We have a few. Then after the child's teacher, there is a team leader on that grade level. In our school district, we call it a GLA, grade level, a team leader, a GLA. So there's one for kindergarten. Miss Perla, if you'll wait, kindergarten GLA is here. First grade, GLA. Second grade couldn't be here. Third grade couldn't be here. Fourth grade GLA, back here, Mr. Joel Richardson. Fifth grade GLA, Miss Pendola. Sixth grade GLA.
He's
back
helping.
here. Mr. Xavier Nieves is back here. Seventh grade GLA, Miss Ginger Mason over here. Eighth grade GLA, Katy over here. We'll give you all these names. Be on our website, so you have to memorize them tonight. We won't give you a teacher. All right. One of the things that everybody asks is about the building. Okay? Everybody wants to know about the building. How many of you have been there recently? Okay. So you know we have more walls now than we did 2 weeks ago. So here's the good news. According to the superintendent, we're on schedule to start school in August. Once they put the roof, then even if it rains, they'll still keep working. And then they're going to probably start doing 2 crews, a day crew and a night crew. So hopefully we'll see a lot more improvement. But I know that people are going to share before we open it up questions and answers.
I just wanted to point out that this session is much different. We present to our Facebook page because those videos are still there. Attendant is also on the website. An answering session this time, all the is also on the website. Okay, so we're going to, and then we'll answer one of us four, or maybe even the GLAs.
Before we get started, just out of curiosity, raise your hand if you already enrolled. If you already brought the paperwork, very good. All right, let us tell you something brand new that's very exciting. If, starting today, not last week or 2 weeks ago, starting today, if you refer somebody else and they come, the district will go ahead and give you a voucher. So if you refer an elementary school child, you get $50. If you refer secondary, like middle school child, 6th, 7th, and 8th, you get $100. Okay? It's not in cash. It's not a gift card. It's a voucher. What that voucher will be good for is uniforms. Okay? Which you know are expensive. Also for your child's lunch. Also for field trips. All of those kind of things. So it'll be a voucher, and it's unlimited. If you recommend 10 and they all come, you get all that money.
They have to come, though.
And they have to come and register and enroll. So that's something exciting, and it's brand new, just started today. And why? Because we want the whole world to get as excited as you are, and we want to make sure all the seats are filled. So that's why we're offering this special bonus. Okay? Before people start going on vacations and leave town, we want to make sure that we get all of them. We have a few spaces left. Not a lot. We just have a few, so we want you to be excited about it. Okay, we'll open it up to questions and answers.
All right.
Raise your hand if you have a question.
Right here.
What is the student, the quantity of students you all are expecting, or how much can you?
Okay. So our capacity is 1,416 students. K through 2 will have approximately 160 students. 3 through 8 will have 156 students per grade level. The class sizes will be 20 for K through 2. For 3 through 8, it will be about 26 per class. Okay.
Good question.
Very good. I have one here.
I'm actually asking for a friend. She's got a 4th, 8th grader. The tablets that each child will be given, they said that they will block access to the bad stuff on the internet, but she would like to know the name of the program that you intend to use and how effective it is.
I just spoke to the math coordinator at the district level today. So I know for math it will be Play-Doh. And also students they could use Edmodo. Teachers will have the ability to set up an Edmodo. Was it a Kahoot? Kahoot. And so those type of websites. I have one here unless.
We have a question over here.
Okay.
All right, so when we have someone that we refer, how do we get that voucher?
We will email it to you after the first day of school.
Well, I'm sorry, let me ask that question differently.
Okay.
If someone I referred says, oh, so-and-so referred me to this place, is that how they go about telling you? Or do I have to let you know I referred this person and their name, their number, or what?
The person who is registering would give your information. The registrars, okay. Doctor.
When they are applying for the lottery, there is a space to put the name of the person who referred them. There is where they are going to put their name, your name, and then as soon as they enroll and complete the enrollment process, that's when you get the voucher.
Oh, thank you. Second
Part
question.
2.
In every class, is it guaranteed that they're going to have a teacher aide or someone to assist the students there? That's what I saw on the website.
Yes. So every grade level has a teacher aide. And so the teacher aide will be used accordingly on the grade level. But so we have roughly 10 to 12 teacher aides.
Question over here.
I came to one of the first 2 meetings you had, and at that time you weren't offering band. Since then, I've registered and found out that there will be band, and I've already rented my instrument because she was going to go to the regular junior high. We could just bring it here, or do we have to be assigned a certain instrument?
And I'm glad you mentioned that, middle school parents. If you have any students who are planning to be in band, the band directors will set a schedule when those students will come and play for them and place them in either beginning or advanced band.
Or intermediate.
Or or intermediate.
Okay. Hello. I have a. Okay. My daughter is in the 1st grade. I have looked at the curriculum on your district site, and then for Katy, it gives me an overview, but doesn't tell me in detail compared to all the other charter schools that I have seen. So, I would like to know where can I get more details?
All the curriculum is provided by ILTexas, which is created by the state. So we use the curriculum that the state provides. As a parent, you can go to the ILTexas website and you have access to seeing the scope and sequence of everything that would be taught in every single grade in every subject.
And and resources, I think sometimes parents interchange resources with curriculum. The curriculum is the same for every charter school, for every public ISD school. It's the same. It's created by TEA. We follow that. And so that's available through TEA. TEAC's resource is there. But as far as the resources, the teachers will explain the resources along the way. what they choose to use for that particular SE.
Here we go.
Since it is a bilingual class, for each student, do they get leveled, like tested in on what levels they are with their Spanish, English, and so on?
Absolutely. You want to answer that, Sergio?
Yes, we're going to have some teachers doing the evaluation before the beginning of the year, so we can know the level of the language proficiency for the students, so we can place them in the correct curriculum as far as the bilingual program goes.
So we know, for example, 99% of all of us know this much Chinese. So we're going to be novice Chinese, even us as adults. Then in Spanish, we're going to place them, and it's on a scale of 1 to 10, from novice all the way to superior in Spanish. So all of that will be done. So that way, if your child is a native Spanish speaker, they're not with beginners and they're not frustrated, or vice versa. Good question. Over here.
When our children break the rules, what are your disciplinary procedures?
That varies. That's going to vary based off the grade level and the level of the disciplinary action. There are level 1 consequences, level 2 consequences, so on and so forth. So that's going to depend, and that will be outlaid in the handbook that you will get, and you'll be able to read that.
So it'll go just very much like public school, your child's teacher, and then it progresses up to the grade level administrator, and then depending on how serious, lunch detention, after school detention, et cetera, et cetera. Good question. Okay, right?
What are the options for after school care? Have you secured it?
And so we did go ahead and get several bids. They will provide morning care. So if you work early, and you have to drop off your child at 6 a.m. or 6:30 a.m., they will be here that early. We, school staff, will open our arriving here at 7:15. After school, we will have sports for middle school, but they are here also till 6 or 6:30. And then those rates, they'll go ahead and provide for you. So what we'll do is we'll put them on Facebook or on our website so you can contact champions directly. Right. Right. Correct. And so, and they're very flexible. If you only need 3 days a week, they'll do that. If you only need afternoons, they'll do that. If you only need mornings, they'll do that. So they're really, really good about that. Good question. Over there and then over here.
So you mentioned that you follow the same program than Katy ISD, right?
Not exactly.
The same curriculum. But exactly, sort of, right? Because there's no Chinese in Katy ISD and there's no physical education every day on Katy ISD.
Correct.
So could you elaborate more on those differences that make the school unique compared to, let's say, the two-way immersion program on other Katy ISD schools, right?
Sure. I'll go ahead and address a little bit, and then Ms. Ayers, if you want to add a little bit more. But basically, the state of Texas, I'm going to start with abroad, they have standards. Okay, these are the TEKS. Texas Essential Knowledge of Skills. All schools in Texas, whether they're charter, whether they're public, whether they're private, try to meet, those standards. Then the children are tested, as you know, on the STAR test. So therefore, we are making sure that we provide a quality education so that the children meet those standards. So what makes us unique, as you know, 3 languages. You might say, wow, my child is gifted and talented. Great, that's in English. But are they gifted and talented in Spanish? And we haven't even started getting into the Chinese. Physical fitness. Instead of PE, which many of us went to PE and the coach said, okay, do 10 jumping jacks, run 2 laps, go play with the ball. Okay, we're not like that. We're going to have performance trainers. Like when you go to the gym, they're going to say, we're going to work on upper body. We're going to work on legs. We're going to work on that. So they're going to be in performance training. What makes us unique as well is we go ahead and do a service project. So your children will learn our motto, putting others before self, and doing a service project. Okay? You want to add some more?
Yes. Part of the mission states that we are forming students for international roles overseas. So what basically that means is that we are focusing on the leadership skills, and especially in servant leadership. Like Dr. Hinojosa was saying, we have the service learning project. And what we're doing is the students are taking ownership and leadership roles and going out of the community and trying to find a service project where they can be serving others. They're going to be coming up with their own ideas. They're going to be voting in their own ideas. They're going to select one service learning project per grade level where everyone is going to have to work on that project. They're going to be presenting, coming with a product at the end of the school year, and they're going to be making sure that every single grade level is doing it. This service learning project starts in kindergarten and goes all the way to high school. So that's another thing. We're preparing the students for international leadership roles. We have the trilingual program. We're focusing the mind, character, and body. Mind with academics, character with the leadership, and body with the physical education.
Okay, in the Spanish part of the program, are the kids only going to learn to speak it?
Completely bilingual. We have a dual language model. Spanish, and 50% of the time will be taught through content. So they will be learning math in Spanish, science and social studies in Spanish, as well as in English.
But will they have to read the book in Spanish?
Yes. And obviously, for elementary grade levels, kinder and first grade will be fully immersed, 50-50. And second, third, fourth, and fifth will be modified models. Because we know that we have students that are coming from different school districts and schools that might not be bilingual. So we're going to adjust to their level of English and Spanish. But the goal for the school is to be fully bilingual. So we are projecting that in 5 years, when the kindergarten starts in 4th and 5th grade, will be fully bilingual, 50-50%.
Okay, because my daughter understands it. Like I speak it to her all
But
day, but she can't
matter of
write
time,
it
but she
or
will write
read
it, she will speak it, she will.
Okay, and books and supplies.
The school will provide all of that.
It will be in Spanish too.
All the resources that we have are going to be available in English as well as in Spanish.
Okay, question here.
Yes. How about the kids? Are you going to offer like challenge programs, the gifted and talented program? Because my daughter she's in the challenge program.
Her question was, are we going to offer a gifted and talented program? It will not look like Katy ISD or like Sci-Fair ISD or like any other school district. Our curriculum is ours will look different. But if your child comes to us, GT, they're already labeled, and then let's say 2 or 3 years from now you leave our program, there'll still be GT. You'll never lose that title. We don't offer the same one that Katy does.
There is a specific program for GIF enrichment, and we offer enrichment for all the students. It might be different levels, so if the students are gifted and talented, and project-based learning. Based on their abilities, so it will be more higher order thinking, while other students that are not gifted and talented, they still have enrichment, so enrichment is offered for all the students, but they're going to be working at a different level. So that's the gifted and talented component that you're getting, and they're going to be getting in, technically they're getting more than a regular school, because on a regular school, you will be pulled once a week or maybe even less, and this is going to be every day. But it's during enrichment. It's not a gifted and talented pull-out program.
No, it'll be different.
Yes. Yeah. Their enrichment will be based on their ability. So the gifted and talented students will have a different enrichment. Yes, if they are labeled as gifted and talented, they will continue with the gifted and talented label throughout the school.
Okay, question back there?
Yeah, you said that the curriculum was 50-50, English-Spanish.
Oh, yes. The curriculum in areas meaning reading, math, science, and social studies is bilingual, English and Spanish. The Chinese is introduced in kindergarten, and that's a special class that they will have in a 6-day rotation. 4 of those days will be Chinese. So they will get in Chinese 4 days every 6 days for 45 minutes, and that's just learning the language, not the content. They're not learning math in Chinese. They're just learning Chinese.
Will computer science be a part of the science program?
The children will have computers, and we live in such an age that our teachers are computer savvy. Technology will be in every classroom. All children, 4th to 8th grade, will get a Chromebook, like a Chromebook little computer, and they'll be able to use that daily. If you as the parents go ahead and pay the insurance, which is about $10, then they can take it home back and forth every day. And so you don't have to pay for that computer, for that Chromebook. You all pay for the insurance, and then be able to take it. The homework will be assigned. It'll partly be on computer technology, etc. Classrooms will have smart boards. A lot of technology will be used throughout.
Any programming or any developing in that whatsoever, do you know?
Not at the elementary level. We might start looking into robotics, but that's a little bit down the road. We want to make sure that school gets started first.
I understand.
Okay. Question. Go ahead first. And then
Sorry. For the non-Spanish speakers, we live in Texas but
Right.
don't speak Spanish.
Right.
And our children aren't exposed to it. Are they? I mean, do you think they're going to struggle whenever they come home with homework? Are we, as the non-Spanish speaking parents, going to be able to help them?
Very good question. Okay, and so we know there will be many, many, many children in our school that will only speak one language. Okay, that's okay. What we're going to do is try to make it as supportive as possible. For example, a homework page, if it's a handout, would have English on one side and Spanish on the other side. And let's say that the assignment was in Spanish. They can flip the paper over. The parents, can look over, and all the answers, the questions will be there in English. We're going to try to support as much as possible. Also, at the end of each day, we're going to reserve about 30 to 45 minutes for tutorial, for extra help. And that way your children don't have to stay after school. The teachers don't have to stay after school. They'll get that tutorial during the day. And so that's proposed. Okay?
Okay, here I am.
Question back here.
Okay, so that question and answer, I think, answered a little bit of my question. When I first looked into your website, learned more about your school, it was a little bit intimidating, so I was worried on if they didn't pass certain classes, such as the new things you have going on, and I guess maybe your, or anything that's new and fun and exciting that sounds like, oh, my kid's going to get such a great education, but if they start failing, how do you intervene and help them to close whatever gap that might be in that system?
So the end of the day is the enrichment period, and so we're not going to kick out any of our students who are struggling in any area. We would try to fill in those gaps. One time that we could capture that is at the enrichment, and so it's called our science. So we would use that, the grade level team work in PLCs every day, and they will look at the data. They will, discuss their students under the direction of the grade level administrator to determine who will go where at the end of the day. So they're supported heavily.
The city has gone ahead in the median so that
Last question, and that is the communication level. Will you emails? But when you have an issue with the curriculum or understanding it so you can help your child when they get home, or if you have questions on their behavior, will you have any time where the parent gets to see the teacher, communicate with them on a more personal level?
The teachers are provided with 2 planning times. One is their PLC, which is when the teachers are going to get together and plan accordingly for the lesson plans and the academic content areas that they're going to be teaching next week. But also they will be provided with a conference time. And during that particular conference time for the grade level, you can schedule a conference, a face-to-face conference, where you can come to the school, talk to the teacher or the teachers that you are, concerned of. Necessarily have to come to school. Yes, they are provided with a conference time every day. So it's just a matter of you scheduling in advance and, just making sure the students are available for that.
Part of the answer. All of you will have access to a software called Skyward, in which you will be able to see your children's grades at all times. And so more information will come to you about that. We're organizing a PTO, parent-teacher organization. The PTO will help train you on how to use Skyward, all of that, so you can check. You can email your child all of that information. Okay?
Question over here. With respect to the bilingual and the GT, you mentioned that the children will be placed at their level. Does that mean that the kids will be commingled for the GT portions of their curriculum and the Spanish portions of their curriculum?
It is best for all parents to stop thinking about GT. Our school, our school and challenging curriculum. So let me tell you a 1-minute little story. Graduation of ILTexas that could speak all 3 languages. Of these students, college. That means they were dual credit enrolled, and we are speaking like public.
And then,
Yes.
So with respect to their levels in Spanish and academic subjects, if they are at different levels, how are you going to place children that are at higher levels or lower levels with children that are at those same levels?
Good question.
I said differentiation levels. You may have a on grade level, you may have your students. So while they're extending the lesson for the GT student, they are making sure that the grade level student is understanding and mastering the student objective, while the student who may have come below grade level, she's pulling them up. So that's just the quality of instruction. It doesn't necessarily depend on the ability of the student. It's the instruction.
So let me partly to continue to answer in both subjects, in English and Spanish, reading, etc. 6th, 7th, and 8th grade are departmentalized, so then they will only get math, reading, science, and social studies, only 5 minutes to an hour of Chinese. So that's how that works, and that's how that looks. So hopefully we answered your question.
Question here.
Question here, question here.
Okay. My question it is about the website. Do you have any kind of website where they can be able to study before they get to start to the school? Begin to have 2 kind of sports after school or before school. My third question is about the uniforms on boys. They can be able to be dressed with shorts or pants.
Very good questions. Questions for everyone. So the very first one is about software. If you want to start learning another language, one that is free that I have used is called Duolingo. 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 And it's free if you want to start your child learning a little Spanish, you as parents learning a little Spanish, or you want to start learning a little Chinese, no problem. So that's one. The uniforms, and then their shirts would either be maroon, like Mr. Sergio Camarillo, or white, like Ms. Angela Ayers, okay? And so they can be short sleeves, they can be long sleeves, they can be cotton fabric, polo shirts. And so Academic Outfitters is our official store. They are in the Galleria. If you go this month of June, they're running a 10% sale on everything. And so that is our uniform provider. We have samples in the back so you can see what it feels like. But they encourage you to go there so they can measure your child to see what exact size he or she is. She had one more that I didn't answer.
About the shoes, if they can be able to use tennis shoes or it has to be...
Black tennis shoes, 100% black, 100%, not even the Nike swoosh white, all black. Girls wear tennis shoes, all white.
Question about athletics?
Yes.
Okay. So we do have athletics for middle school, and it would be flag football, volleyball, track and field, cross country,
soccer.
Soccer.
The sports are by season.
Yeah, it's by season.
So if your child plays all the sports, he can do all the sports.
Yeah.
We're going to have 8 coaches. So this lady's been waiting for half an hour.
Oh, and
okay, one word, carpool. How are you guys going to handle carpool with all those students?
All right, very good question. This lady with blonde hair is going to talk about carpool, okay? You want to talk about it now? Might as well.
Okay, there is no bus, and we have that sounded like terrible. There are no buses for 1,400 kids, so we're going to need to carpool. Does everybody understand what carpool is? Because I don't think not everyone has understood what carpool is. Where I have carpooled for a year with my son and my friend. We carpooled into town, and what we did is we met somewhere, a central location where I didn't drive to her house and pick her child up. She didn't drive to my house and pick my child up. We met somewhere in the middle, and we drove one of us drove to school, and then one of us picked the kids up and drove them home. So what we've done is I've divided y'all up by elementary schools / zip codes. And after the meeting dismisses, not now, but y'all need to become friends with one another in your neighborhoods. So we did the elementary school, so it's a smaller perimeter. And if we can get families to get to know each other, it helps. Because one, you get to know each other. Two, as far as like with the English only, I'm an English only parent and an English only family. And my son was in the immersion program. Son didn't know what was going on. I would call my friend. What does it mean? What are child's going to forget their homework? If you've got a friend that has a third grader and you have a third grader, well, then y'all can go trade. So it with this system because it's an immersion program. So there's 5 rooms back there. So after we dismiss, y'all have to become friends. I mean, your kids are going to become friends. We're all new at this. So we need to be good examples for our kids and become friends with one another and help each other with carpooling. So do you have a carpool question? Okay. What time do we start?
That's up to parents. But school starts, good question.
Yeah.
The little ones, elementary, starts at 8 a.m. and secondary, middle school starts at 7:45. So we want to go ahead and get and we open the doors at 7:15, free to you. But if you want to leave them earlier, then you would pay the Champions provider.
And as far as with the carpool, the sooner y'all become friends and know each other, and the sooner y'all map out that route, because that's what we did. We knew school started on August 18th, so we didn't wait till August 18th to find our friends and figure out how long it was going to take to go to school. We started earlier. You know, we kind of figured out, okay, who's going to take on Mondays, who's going to take on Tuesdays, who's going to pick up on Tuesdays, who's going to pick up on Wednesdays. And we had that system. And the more people that you find as far as a carpool friend, the easier it will become because they may have, their car may be full, and you may have a full car. So you neighborhood. So, and having said, they're $5 cash. You can buy them at the back table and start our school spirit. So that they can answer that. So
we'll train you all about that later.
Yeah, we'll tell you all about.
Because I know Faith West is next to the school. How, like, I know traffic's going to be horrible, but are we okay?
Yeah, there are different hours, and
so hopefully that'll help. And also we're going to have 2 lanes, so all we can get as many.
And I would like to know because I know some charter schools around here that they say they have 100% high school goals, and I've not been able to get in. I'm trying to find out.
We have had our very first graduation class. 100% of them graduated, and so we have kids accepted to Baylor and all major universities, and so it is very, very successful. This is the very first. The district is only 3 years old, so these are the sophomores that started 3 years ago. So they've had their first, and then next year they'll have more. In the Dallas-Fort Worth area, this year that just ended, 2015-16, there was 8 schools. Now we're in the ILTexas district, and that will equal about 11 or 12,000 students. Next year, in 17-18, we're building 5 more schools here in Houston. So we are growing. So if you're very
Did you see her? Right there. She's
Okay.
the queen of registration.
as far as this carpool, when y'all dismiss and you're interested in carpool, back in that back hallway, and I think there's a spot back here in this corner right before you walk out the door, there are zip codes, and not everybody's zip code's on there, but if they're not, let me know. And there's also the elementary schools. I'm going to give y'all cards, and y'all are going to trade names with each other. I don't want this card back. This is your card to find friends' names and telephone numbers and email addresses on, okay? So it's up to y'all to find your friends, okay? I can't keep up with 1,400 carpools. It's up to y'all to find your friends and find...
Right here.
Hi, certifications from these teachers.
Very good question. So the teachers that are teaching Chinese, we went to China, and we found about 30 or 40 of the best trained that were already teaching in China, that speak English and Chinese, that have experience, And then the Chinese government went ahead and talked to our government and got work visas, so they will come and work here for probably 2 years or maybe a little longer. We did the same thing in Spain and went ahead and brought some teachers from Spain. We're experienced. Some of them have master's degrees. They've been teaching a number of years, and then they will be here going ahead and teaching Spanish, either in our dual language program or at the secondary level. Teachers that we found here in Houston or in the United States, they are Texas certified or they're working on becoming Texas certified.
So the
So
Spanish,
we have worked to go ahead and get the best teachers that we could.
so the Spanish teachers won't be Texas certified. Oh, yes, they are.
Some of the, yes, the dual language teachers are taking the test this summer. They'll be getting certified this year.
Okay.
And we do have a district level coordinator who monitors and mentors in terms of curriculum, best practices in that language, who we recommend them, and then they determine if they know enough Chinese. So they guide the Chinese teachers. We have a coordinator who guides the Spanish language teachers. So at the district level, we do have staff in place to coordinate the curriculum for both of those languages.
And it's good question. We want you to know that since January, we have interviewed over 600 people to hire 60 of the best teachers. So we really have seen lots and lots of teachers.
And about the Spanish, what kind of Spanish? I mean, because in every country we speak different kind of Spanish. So what kind of Spanish are you going to be teaching the kids? Like the Spanish from Spain, like the actual?
It's a very good question, okay? All right. We are an international school. We will have teachers from Spain. We will have teachers from Puerto Rico. We'll have teachers from Mexico. We'll have teachers from Argentina. So therefore, it's going to be an international mix, okay? But once the district is working all of that out, so just as Ms. Ayers said, you'll get more information on that as soon as we have it.
And one more thing, sorry, about the art program. Do you have any kind of art program for kids?
We do have an art program. We'll have an elementary art teacher and then a middle school art teacher. So two teachers.
Okay, I was going to say, speaking of middle school art, we do Miss Leish. I believe we already sent out the link. Did we? Hi, Miss Leish.
There's one of your art
yes.
teachers.
She sent out information for a poster contest. So I believe all of our middle school parents received that. So yes, we do have a art program.
Okay, right here.
I have two questions. The first one is about Parent Teachers Association. What is the process to become part of the PTA?
Yes, we do have a parent-teacher organization. The officers were elected just a few weeks ago. So parents that had been enrolled, voted about 2 or 3 weeks ago. They are putting up a website right now. And
We'll have that information going out to you soon. If you want to sub for our school, we'll have that information, the qualifications, the criteria. You would apply. We'll have a job fair, that sort of thing. It will come out in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
My second question is, how is the art program for elementary kids? How many times a week do they have art? What does the program involve?
Good question. The art and music at the elementary level are mixed with the Chinese. So every 2 weeks, they will do Chinese. So it might look like this. Chinese art, Chinese music, Chinese art, like that. Okay? At middle school,
Is that once a week or is that every day?
once a week at the elementary level. In middle school, 6th, 7th, and 8th, they will pick art, and they'll have it every day for a semester, or they'll pick band, or they'll pick choir, drama, something like that. Good question.
Question over here. Can you talk more about the Road Scholar program and the international field trips and what the requirements are for students to attend those?
Mr. Sergio, do you want to answer that a little bit?
Yes, at this moment we have for 7th and 8th graders the Road Scholar trips. Seventh grade goes 1 week around Texas, visiting different cities and universities, and 8th graders go for 2 weeks across the United States. from Texas all the way to New York.
And so the qualifications will be good behavior and good grades. Those are the most important things. And the superintendent does go with them on the Road Scholar trip, which is a 2-week trip all the way to Washington, D.C. That is for 8th grade.
Chaperones, there's going to be a process of drawings, and whoever gets selected are going to be going as chaperones. Like Dr. Hinojosa was saying, superintendent and some assistant principals are going to those field trips as well.
And we'll put it on the website. Okay?
Question here.
But we do need, the state of Texas requires some kind of paperwork. Some kind you have, the better. The same if you have a child that's special ed, any of that. We need as much paperwork as possible.
Would you accept state?
My question is about police officers.
Yes, we do have 2 security officer on staff.
Good question. We do have, go ahead and connect us with all the time. He is armed. He has a gun, a doorbell. It is locked. It's everywhere. Everything's being videotaped.
Okay, how many?
On every grade level. So in grades, middle school, their core content, approximately 6 and per classroom, kinder, first and second, up to. Right.
Yes. Okay. Can you just tell me the grade level so I could just speak? Okay. 1st grade, she will have a teacher, a bilingual or dual language teacher who teaches in Spanish, dual language teacher who teaches in English. So our model is going to be half day. At recess, they'll change. The first part of the day will be in English. The second part of the day will be in Spanish or vice versa. The next day, it will be vice versa. Same 2 teachers. Same 2 teachers. So she will have 2 teachers. Okay.
Question over here.
I have 2 questions. One, I would like to verify if there are going to be any classes on Saturdays or only Monday through Friday?
No.
Okay. And the second one is any future projects for high school?
Yes. As soon as they finish building our building, they'll start building the high school. The thoughts are that the high school will be somewhere between here and West Park. Highway 6, somewhere over there, somewhere over in that vicinity. Okay? Good question. No Saturday school.
Cantonese or the breakfast menu.
All right. So the questions were about language, and the language is Mandarin because Mandarin is more widely spoken. And it is, we want you to know that we have a district coordinator that tests all the Mandarin teachers, make sure they're all teaching the same at all the schools. And then lunch menu, we are going to use a company called Revolution Foods for this year. And then we're going to survey you as parents and your children. If you like them, we'll keep them. If not, we'll go with something else. I've been told that it's all healthy, fresh foods. They don't have anything frozen, so we'll give those a try.
My brother goes to a school where he has band, and he goes to a field trip to a water park every year. I was wondering if you do that this year.
Very good question. We don't know if it's going to be a water park, but we definitely will have a field trip per grade level, and it will be different places.
Question.
How many field trips at least?
Right here. Go ahead.
Okay. Let me see if I can explain it. My son is a Spanish speaker.
Okay.
So how do you grade Spanish speakers? Because we coming from dual language program that he gets graded by his Spanish and he is learning English. Do you do the same thing here? Or
You want to answer that?
Well, like we've already said, he'll be placed with a group of students that are in the same area, Spanish-speaking level, and he gets a grade for his how he performs in that class, in the Spanish class, and then also how he performs in.
Answer. So he will have a grade for math in general, and the math is going to be taught in English according to the Spanish. So it's not going to be a grade per se, but they're going to have, a level. So he must be novice low, novice medium, medium high, or at 80 in math. Is math, either in English and Spanish. Same
reading
thing.
and writing,
It is the same thing. So you will have for reading.
even
Now,
if it's
so you might be able to understand.
okay.
Proficiency might be different. For math, you have a great percent of the time in kinder and first grade. Perhaps most of the testing is going to be in English because they're heavily in English. If your child is Spanish speaking, might be tested in Spanish the first time, at least until they get adjusted. But when we're talking about academic content areas, we're not.
Let me go ahead.
Language proficiency.
If I can interrupt for a minute, it's almost 8 o'clock. Here's what we're going to do. We'll take about 4 more questions, and then if your question hasn't been answered, you can stay and we'll ask more. We want to respect your time because we thought it would be about an hour. The session has been videoed, so therefore we're going to put it on our website or on Facebook. So you'll get, if you didn't hear an answer, you'll get to have the full answers. So we'll take about 4 or 5 more questions. Don't forget to go for. She had a very good question. If you have a child that's in elementary school and you have another child in middle school and they have different hours that they start, one starts at 7:45 and the other one starts at 8. It's okay. You drop both of them off at the same time. At the end of the day, you pick them up both at the same time. You don't have to pick them up at different times. We'll take care of them for you. We'll have more information about that later. Okay? Other
Question right
questions?
here.
I have a couple of questions. One is, do we have a choice on bilingual, put them all English only or Spanish only? It seems that people graduating from U school, that's English. Graduation is not Spanish.
Okay, this school.
And the test is English.
This
So
school.
yeah, but let me finish. When you mix in two languages, would they be prepared? Would they be accepted? And any school within the United States?
Very good question. This school, people are picking this school because it does offer the 3 languages. It is not a choice. If you come to our school, your child will get all 3 languages. I can tell you, because I'm bilingual and I speak both English and Spanish, I can read it, I can write it, and all that. We're going to make sure that if your child stays with us, like Mr. Camarillo said, about 4 or 5 years, they will be able to read, write, speak all the languages. So. In Chinese, they're going to do about 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes at the elementary level, 45 minutes to an hour every day. Well, he explained it, okay? It's in a rotation, so 4 times in 2 weeks, okay, is what they're going to get. So at first, it's more conversational, then little by little, they start teaching them how to write, how to read.
Question over here.
Hi. Are the students going to take any STAR tests or something like that?
Yes, they do have to take STAR tests.
I have a 2nd and 3rd grader, and I was wondering, do they have any activities for them, like sports? I know maybe for middle school,
you have
what
access
about for
to
them?
Do you want me to write mine?
Yes, we do have sports, but they're not competitive. So when we talk about competitive sports, that's at the middle school level. So they'll have sports during physical fitness and those. Ms. Ayers, did you all have a question back there?
It was about assessments, but I know her, so we'll hook up.
Okay, just thinking, if something does happen, I know you're saying you're scheduled to start school on time at that location, but do you have a backup plan for if it doesn't?
The superintendent is working on that, and if anything changes, we will definitely let you know.
Yes.
Okay? All right, what we'll do, if you have questions, all the assistant principals will be up here. If you will come and ask us questions. The rest of you, we thank you for your time. Go ahead and check uniforms back here, Carpool. Thank you so much.